influence of culture.
Yeah.
I've been studying this subject. When I say studying, I have really intensified my study to understand the influence of culture and the way we conduct ourselves. We will deal with specifics when it comes to culture, like culture here, maybe the culture in terms of the arts and culture.
Yeah.
We will touch those as time goes by. But today, in a nutshell, we're introducing a subject. What is culture? The word culture comes from the word cult, C-U-L-T.
Whoa.
And when we say cult, it has that connotation where it has a religious affiliation and stuff like that. But that's not the angle that we're going to take. But we're going to take the root word so that we understand what culture is all about. What is a cult? A cult is, for instance, when you are devoted to a certain cause or a certain individual.
Yes.
So a culture, the influence of culture, simply means you have a picture in mind or individual in mind or a way of thinking in mind that is controlling your life. So how do we shape your way of thinking so that the culture that you are practicing in your behavior, it's actually exactly what you need to be practicing? Because sometimes culture can be like a hypnotist. It can control you without being aware that you're being controlled, because it has come to a point where it's ruling your thinking pattern, but you're not even aware. You see, you can never change a way of thinking if you are not conscious of the way of thinking.
Sure.
The only way you can change your path is when you acknowledge where you're going and you can predict the destination. Therefore, you say, wait a second. I think where I'm going, I've been on autopilot. A good number of us on planet Earth, and I'll say it again, a good number of us on planet Earth, not just in South Africa, we are on autopilot. We are operating based on how we have been taught to think.
Yes.
So we have absorbed that culture to become a way of thinking. But we have never stepped outside of that way of thinking and reviewed and analyzed and criticized why we think the way we do. And I'll bring a scenario which is it's prominent right now in South Africa, sadly so. We're talking about women being abused and being raped and all this stuff. It's a cultural thing. It's a way of thinking. And no matter how loud we shout, until we alter the culture, the way of thinking, we remain with the same issue. And at times I come across as if I'm not emotional or I don't feel the pain. I feel the pain. But we need to tackle the cause, not the effects. We're going to spend forever trying to fight something that will never bring permanent change. We need to understand this thing comes from a thinking, a cult, a way of thinking.
Sure.
Once we have altered that, Ndombi, and again, the word, for instance, we have cultivate. So it's a thought that you nourish, that you actually grow, that you nurture. It grows so deep, it becomes your behavior. That's why we have something called agriculture, meaning you are growing something. So we're going to hammer on the influence of culture. It's going to be amazing.
It is amazing. I am on board 100%. Like I said, every time KC comes into the studio, you learn something. And hopefully, once you've learned something or that thing, you become better. We've established what culture is all about, and we're going to delve deeper. If you want to participate in the conversation, 089 110 2000.